You need to feel for the characters. Sometimes you feel for the characters a little too much with this other movie that we went into.
Sometimes you
It
physically
definitely
feel for the
wasn't
other characters.
emotionally, spiritually, yeah, too much. This was in a completely different theater. They did not put this bad boy up in a big screen. We were all the way in the back of the cinema for this one, but we were with a group that you just know when you're going to sit down at a movie screening and you're like, yeah, all these strangers that I'm sitting with here, we're about to share a special moment. And I think we had a pretty good crowd for Jackass Forever.
We had the
The
right crowd.
fourth in the installment, we had the right crowd, exactly. You had people cheering. I think the kids in front of you were like giving a bunch of the what's it called, Breakfast Club moments.
Yeah.
The people to my right were squirming worse than
Oh,
I was. We had a really good moment with this one. If you have not caught up on any of the Jackass movies, those are all on Paramount Plus, if I'm not mistaken. It's the show that's super difficult to find.
hmm.
But nonetheless, the boys are back. What is it, 10, 11 years later? And they killed it. I thought it was a hysterical movie. I thought it really showcased what kind of the culture that Jack has
Hmm.
had. It's not just that they do these really dumb stuff, and I think it was you who had brought it up. They're not really professionals. They
Yeah.
always there's that iconic thing that lets you know, leave this to the professionals. And Zach's like, these aren't professionals. These are schmoes. These are schmucks from down the street who decided to just capture this on tape. It's not that they're professionals. It's just that they're dumb enough to do it.
Hmm.
And I think they come up with some of the dumbest stuff in this one. I went back and started rewatching a bunch of the older ones, and it was also interesting to see how they kind of parallel old
Yeah. They
stunts
do
that
some
they did
callback
trying to one up themselves. Or
stunts. Yeah.
yeah, I thought it was really cool. It's like a legacy movie, and I think the subtitle Forever really works, especially with the new cast that they were able to get in, who around the time that the third one would have been coming out, which would have been 2010. I feel like the Eric Andres of the world, the Tyler the Creators, like they were barely getting up there. You know,
Hmm.
they were entering the mainstream.
I
They were
mean,
gonna have their shows and the brands that they have now.
that's one of the kind of interesting things about the film is they are sort of acknowledging their own legacy in a way, and it,
That's cool.
in a way this is a film about the original cast getting older and not necessarily being able to do some of the stunts, and also about this new cast of people who are coming into the Jackass tentpole or whatever you want to call it, and are so influenced and brought up by these movies. I just think that there's a sense of joy and a sense of humor to these movies that is really contagious and hard to contain. It's just inventive in a way that I don't think modern comedies often reach for. Like it's
Mhm.
like I think some of the things they're doing evoke a physical comedy that speaks more to like the silent film era or like Jackie Chan comedies than it
That's
does
what you mean.
what we mostly get in theaters nowadays. So it's kind of cool to see that spirit alive in some form, even if it is in this deranged, masochistic, kink, weird like sex kink form. But it's a lot
Hmm.
of fun, and I think there's just something really special about this crew getting to do these over and over again, watching them pick each other up. And I think part of what makes the movies work is they don't just show you the stunts, but they show you what happens after, and they show you the crew cheering each other on or caring for each other if it does go a little bit wrong, and that ultimately makes it kind of a strangely heartwarming film.
Hmm. 100% agree. What's your favorite stunt?
From the new one, I mean, it's hard to beat the bear one. I feel like, like
Bear was pretty good.
it's not like the traditional Jackass stunt, but it's the kind of thing that makes me like. I think for me, my favorite things are the ones where it's like, how did they convince anybody to get involved with this? Like, who okayed this? How has nobody died
Uh-huh.
doing this? I love seeing some of those. So yeah, do you have a favorite stunt?
Bear one's pretty crazy. The B one, I think that's the one that got the most reactions out of me. Like per
Yeah,
second, every new frame was something new.
a
I'll say that
new
much.
set
So I
of
think the B one
horrors. Yeah.
easily.
Devesh asked, "Did either of you catch the Impractical Jokers film from like 2, 3 years back?" I'm not actually super familiar with the Impractical Joker stuff. Like I know a lot of people really love them,
Hmm.
but I don't think I've actually watched their stuff. Have you?
I haven't seen their stuff yet, but we know a lot of people who are fans of
Yeah.
them. So that's gonna be it's gonna have to be a show that I catch up on.